Session will be having a quick discussion on how to draw brachial plexus in few seconds. This is a trick and there are some prerequisites for it. You have to remember the order of segments of the brachial plexus. You need to know the mnemonic. I think most of you would be aware of that mnemonic. Read that damn cadaver book. Now read signifies roots. That is the first part of the brachial plexus. Then det signifies trunks, which is the second part of the brachial plexus. Then dam, and this signifies divisions of the third part of the brachial plexus. Then cadaver signifies cords, which are the fourth segments, and then branches, which we will be discussing later. The roots, there are 5 roots which are contributing to the brachial plexus, which include C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. Then coming to trunks, there are 3 trunks, upper, middle and lower. And then there are divisions which are anterior and posterior for each trunk. Then the cords, which include lateral, posterior and medial, and then branches, which we will be discussing later. So first step is to draw 3 parallel lines. Here we can see there are 3 parallel lines. Then we have to draw a circle on any terminal part of these 3 lines. If we are drawing brachial plexus of the right side, then this circle should be on the right side. If we are drawing on the left side, then it should be on the left side. Now the terminal part of the circle along with the center line has to be erased as shown here. We have erased this part. Then a small line which is passing from the center of the circle towards the first line and distal to it is drawn. So this line is drawn from the center, or you can draw from any arbitrary center, not exact center, towards the first line. Then the next step, we are done with the outline of the brachial plexus through this way. And then we have to label the roots. Now you see there are 5 points of the starting of this segment: C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. Then we have to label the trunks. Just remember, before any divisions of these lines we have the trunks. So here prior to the division we are having upper trunk, then prior to this division we are having a middle trunk. So C7 continues as the middle trunk and it is not having any contribution from any other root to form the trunk. So middle trunk is the continuation of C7 only. Then we have lower trunk, which is continuation of C8 and T1, which is contributed by C and T1 roots. And this again we can see it is prior to the division. So we are having 3 trunks: upper, middle and lower. Then we have to label the divisions. Now each trunk has to divide into an anterior and posterior trunk. The circle which is joining the central line is the point where all the posterior divisions join each other. So this is the posterior division of upper trunk, this is the posterior division of the middle trunk, and this is the posterior division of the lower trunk. Then coming to the anterior divisions, all other lines which are coming out of the 3 trunks are anterior divisions. So we are having anterior division here which is of upper trunk, the anterior division here which is of middle trunk, and anterior division here which is of lower trunk. Now we have to label the chords. The divisions join each other to form the chords. So we are having a lateral chord which is formed by the contribution from the anterior division of the upper trunk and the anterior division of the middle trunk. Then we are having the posterior chord, which is the contribution of the posterior divisions of all the trunk, which include upper, middle as well as lower. Then we have medial chord. Medial chord is the continuation of anterior division of the lower trunk. The branches can be learned by the mnemonics, simple mnemonics which are specified here. The lateral chord gives 3 branches, which include L stands for lateral pectoral nerve, M stands for musculocutaneous nerve, and L again stands for lateral root of the median nerve. For the posterior chord, we are having this mnemonic UTLAR, in which U stands for upper subscapular nerve, T stands for thoracodorsal nerve, and L stands for lower subscapular nerve, and A stands for axillary nerve, and R stands for radial nerve. Then coming to medial chord. Medial chord gives 5 branches, which include 4 M's, which means medial pectoral nerve, then medial cutaneous nerve of arm, then medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, then medial root of the median nerve, and U stands for ulnar nerve. There is some peculiarity of the upper trunk which we can remember by 3S. The first S is placed just proximal to the upper trunk formation, that is this point. The second S is placed at the level of the upper trunk, and the third S is placed just distal to the formation of the upper trunk. So the first S is actually dorsal scapular nerve. S for scapula. The first nerve is the dorsal scapular nerve, which is actually the first nerve which is coming out of the brachial plexus at this point, and it is the contribution from C5 nerve root only. Then coming to the trunk part, here S stands for nerve to subclavius. So the nerve to subclavius will be having contribution from C5 as well as C6. Then after this, just distal to the upper trunk will be having another S which stands for suprascapular nerve. So at this point we'll be having suprascapular nerve, which again will be having contribution from C5 as well as C6 because it is given after the upper trunk formation. Compare the actual diagram of the brachial plexus and the one we have drawn. The one we have drawn is for the quick drawing purpose, like you are in exam and you are not having enough time to think and draw. So you can just draw the outline and then manipulate it further to give some contour and shape of the original brachial plexus. So let's compare. The first word, that is roots, can be shown here and are quite visible here. The long thoracic nerve is not the part of brachial plexus. You can remember it, but it's not the part of the brachial plexus. It is a separate contribution from the nerve roots. Then we are having trunks here. Trunks we have already shown, upper, middle and lower. Then coming to divisions, again the two divisions here from the upper trunk are well shown here, the two divisions, anterior and posterior. Then two divisions of the middle trunk are also shown here, the two divisions, the posterior one and the anterior one. Then the two divisions of the lower trunk are also shown here, the two divisions, the posterior one and the anterior one. Then the formation of chords, which is the posterior chord, which is shown here. This is the posterior chord, which is formed by the junction of three posterior divisions, like here. And the lateral chord is also shown here, which is contribution from the two anterior divisions, like we have shown here. And the medial chord is contribution from the anterior division of the lower trunk. Again, the lower trunk, and this is the anterior division, which is continuing as the medial chord. Then coming to the branches LML, that is lateral pectoral nerve. So the lateral pectoral nerve is here. Then musculocutaneous nerve, M for musculocutaneous, is also shown here. Then the median nerve contribution, that is lateral root of the median nerve, which is the terminal branch of the lateral cord, is also shown here, and that stands for L. Then coming to the posterior cord. Posterior cord has a branch, upper subscapular nerve, which stands for U. Then T for thoracodorsal nerve. Then L for lower subscapular nerve. Then A for axillary nerve, and R for radial nerve. Radial nerve is the continuation of the posterior cord. Then coming to the medial cord. The first branch of the medial cord, that is first M, is the medial pectoral nerve here. Then medial cutaneous nerve of arm, then medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, then ulnar nerve, and last one is the medial root of the median nerve. The medial cord continues as the medial root of the median nerve. So just remember that the lateral cord and the medial cord, they have same name contribution as their continuation. So lateral cord will continue as the lateral root of median nerve, and the medial cord will continue as the medial root of the median nerve, and they will join together to form the medial nerve, while the posterior cord will continue as the radial nerve. Upper trunk peculiarities I have already told, that just proximal to the formation of the upper trunk we are having dorsal scapular nerve. At the level of the upper trunk we are having nerve to subclavius, and Just distal to the formation of the upper tongue, we are having suprascapular nerve, which will be having contribution from C5 as well as C6. I think that sums up your brachial plexus drawing in few seconds. You can practice it, and I think it will be useful for exam purpose and for the times when you need to just draw it and then name it further.